What is happening, everybody, and welcome back to the Sports Card CEO, the official collectibles podcast of Just Baseball.
Did he get another one? Oh, Gallo's on his way back. He got it! Santa Maria! Lindor again!
There it is! He did it! A 40-70 season, and a season unlike any other in Major League Baseball history for Ronald Acuna Jr.
There's a drive to right, off the bat of Evan Carter, and what a postseason he is having.
He hits this one hard. He hits it a mile to left. Mike Trout has ripped a home run.
What's up, guys? This is Mike Trout, and you're listening to Sports Card CEO with Kern, Bubba, and Ham.
Oh, we got Kern, we got Bubba, we got Ham, the boys in the house. What's happening, fellas?
What's up?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Yeah, so season 2 is in full effect, and today we're going to have the honor of going behind the curtain with the one and only Gary Wilson, a.k.a. Bubba, a.k.a. the Bowman Farmer. But before we do that, we'll do our little weekly catch-up. What is going on in your worlds, cards, and otherwise?
Ern, you want to kick us off?
Sure. What's going on? It's been I've been doing some buying, not a crazy amount, but I have been doing some buying. Kind of, I've made my off-season list, my off-season buys. So I've kind of been targeting those guys, the guys that we spoke about probably a month ago, where I was like, okay, the guys that didn't finish strong, but started strong, guys in my head that are buys, guys that just didn't have as great of a year and their markets are down. So I've kind of started flagging those guys on eBay and seeing new searches and stuff like that. I have been ripping some wax. Me and two buddies, Beef and J Wax, we got a case of 2018 Heritage searching for Ohtani rookie autos. Ripped a case. It was tons of fun ripping that case. So we didn't hit any Ohtani autos. We probably hit, we hit a base per box, hit a couple inserts. And then, we had, as a backup, the idea behind it was it's Soto and Acuna's rookie years as well. And I don't know if you know this, but in every case, you get one hot box, which is every box, a pack in that case, or in that box, sorry. Every pack in that box has a purple refractor, at least one purple refractor. Unfortunately, didn't hit one of those three guys in that hot box. So, we skunked a little bit, but we'll make some money back, but it was a ton of fun. Like, it's tough to find those cases.
Last week in your interview, you told people hobby advice was to not rip wax, and you just ripped the case of. I love it.
Yeah, I said, well, my advice was getting started.
Yes, fair enough.
Is not to rip wax, but yeah, it probably is the right thing to do, not do in general, but it's too much fun. It's too much fun.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. Everything else cool on the home front?
Yeah, we had a fun weekend. Did a little, went to the wax museum, and my kids are obsessed with horror movies, so they like to go in this scary area over there where there's Pennywise and Regan McNeil from The Exorcist and Annabelle.
Oh God!
Yeah, it's
dude, I cannot see a photo of that chick.
We also went to this cool place called Space down in Brooklyn. It's indoor play area that's just like absolutely awesome. Tons of like slides for the kids into like magnet tiles and everything. So that was awesome. Little birthday party action after that. So it was a fun-filled kids weekend, like always.
They're going to start calling you Madame Tussaud. That's going to be your new nickname.
You should. Yeah, we're regulars there. Like, I love when we go in there, like, give us like they're like, all right, guys, we know, we got it.
Madame Mandelkern.
Yeah, Madame Mandelkern. What's up with you, Bubba?
Guys, I've been radio silence. I've had no service. You can see I've grown the Matthew Ham beard here, starting to grow out here a little bit. I haven't shaved. I had milk this morning. It was a bad idea, but no,
Milk was a bad choice.
It was a bad choice. I've been away a little bit. Just got back here probably the last 30 minutes. Actually took a shower, which was nice, warm shower. My house. My wife has wondered where I have been. She's like, you can leave for 3 weeks. Imagine if I left for 3 weeks. What would life be like? So I've got one more week of this. I do this almost every year that I can. I love getting away when the weather cools down here in Georgia and just being in the woods and being in nature. And this morning I went on like a 4 or 5 mile walk, but just really been enjoying that on the personal front. really not thinking about anything, not worried about really anything. Brought my kids down there. We spent some time together, got my kids out in the woods and had fires going and everything else. So really enjoying this time of year. I am in my freedom here, I guess we'll say, my clear-headed space. The itch for baseball is creeping back in more and more and more. Finding myself sitting there in those cold, dark woods, thinking about the next buys like Kern. So I'm starting to compile the list. I'm starting to really get excited about it. And I think just in my searches, I'm seeing that pricing is starting to get lean on some of these guys. Not the guys that, the big guys, but even like a McGonigal Gold the other night. I missed the bid. I don't know if y'all saw that. PSA 8 Gold went for like 13. I was like, oh my goodness. I wanted to buy that card and I missed out on it. But so anyway, I think a lot of buying opportunities while people are sleeping, right after the World Series. Everybody's kind of burned out. They're tired after a long baseball season. This next 30, 45 days is where you got to eat. And then we got the release coming up too. So just a lot to be excited about. And I'm ready to go.
Yeah, the Chrome update pre-sale was this morning on Topps, which is where the patches are. December 10th is the release date. Be a good one.
Yeah, it would be. How are those holding up, Kern, on the patches? I've never bought one. I know you have. Are they still, does that market still seem as strong as ever?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's only going in one direction, too. I think just game-worn patches, cards are just going to become more and more valuable.
Did you see the post where he's a pitcher for the Brewers? I don't know I can't remember his name, but he got married, and as a wedding gift, his wife found his 1-of-1 debut patch.
Yeah, I think Mike at Philpom, I think, pulled that and then helped connect the owner of the card to his wife to make that happen. Yeah, it's a cool story.
Stuff like that's like cool. Super cool with it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's always dynamic about those 1-of-1 debut patches.
For sure. What's up with you, Matt? You want to talk about any hobby drama? Because there is a lot of hobby drama.
There's a lot of hobby drama. I'll be honest, guys. I avoid drama like the freaking plague. I hate it. People who are dramatic, I just go on somewhere else with your drama. Like, I don't have time. You know what I'm saying? I don't have time for drama. And people want to go, oh, I'm like, okay, man, move on. Like, the world is full of drama. There are people doing shady stuff all day, every day. You can either focus on that or you can focus on you and just move on. But I kind of ranted momentarily before we went live today just about all this hobby drama and all the Instagram warriors out there wanting to call everybody out and be the nobility of the hobby. I'm like, well, okay, man, good on you. I'm happy for you. I am proud of you. You get a badge.
Yeah. And for any of you who didn't like last week's episode of, my interview. And I know it's not personal necessarily to me. It's just like hearing about one of us specifically, and, that is unrelated to cards. Sorry. I mean, look, we can't please everybody. We started this to have fun, and we understand the majority of people are on here for Bowman content, card content, right? But we're not robots, and we want to talk about what we enjoy as well and what is relevant. And right now, we're not just going to sit here and talk about shill bidding and the drama that comes along with it, because if that's what you want to hear, you can go listen to another show. If there's something that we feel is necessary to discuss, we will. But right now it's for baseball and Bowman. It's a downtime. We'll discuss our buys and our sales and if there's something going on in the market. But for now, we've chosen to start this season off with learning a little bit more about each other and you guys learning more about me. The Bowman stuff, the cards, it's going to be there. It's going to be there. I promise. There's plenty of time in this off season. It'll be there. And next season, it'll be in full effect again. So bear with us. But if you don't like it, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Thank you. You probably said it a little bit more noble than I did. I'm just kind of like, whatever, like move on. But yeah, good week for the Ham House. Dude, my life is so busy right now. And I'm not okay with it. Like, I have so much going on and it's hard for me to keep up with everything. And I like to keep up with everything. Y'all, have y'all ever been around me when you're opening a case of wax?
Yes.
What do I do?
You don't look very happy.
But what do I do?
Kind of like pace around.
Yes, but what do I do? What do I do with the cards?
You pace and then you
Yes, I organize the cards. I clean up the trash.
Yeah.
He pulls out a calculator.
He doesn't like the disorganization.
Yeah, I just have this thing. Like, I like things like structured and orderly and manageable, right?
Now, I will say
this guy's talking about who's going to redeem the redemption before we even finish opening the box.
I did see Ham get pretty damn excited when that red Hope came out. That was a
Yes.
different Ham. Then he forgot about cleaning up cards for a while.
Yeah.
About 30 minutes there, he got out of character.
I have this thing when like things get a little bit out of, and honestly, it sounds like I'm a control freak, and I really am not a control freak like in my normal life, but I live with a lot of disorder with 5 kids. So I like structure. I like knowing where I'm going and what's going on. I like to be able to manage the things that are on my plate. And here lately, I have felt very out of sorts with being able to manage all of the things that are going on in my world, especially little Matt. And, it's so funny. It's like the other day he asked me about cards, and this is just exactly where I am. I looked at him straight up. I said, little Matt, if we never bought or sold another card, I would be completely content and okay. What are you saying? So you're out now? I'm like, no, I'm just telling you, I'm okay to be in. I'm okay to be out, but I just need to know, like, what are we going to do?
Yeah, I have a question. Do you actually call him Little Matt?
I mean, honestly, I call him Matt, but like, but I talk to him like that. I'm like, I will say Little Matt just because around our house.
That's like the hobby direction. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the hobby version of
Little
him.
Matt.
Yeah. But it's so funny because like we have this 1933 not Goudy, but Sports Kings, Jim Thorpe, and we got a nice offer on it. We actually tried to bid on some stuff on Fanatics last night. We lost out, on some Jordan stuff. So there's some movement. I tell you what I did buy though. I'm pretty excited about this. Everybody else thinks I'm a nerd, but I bought the 1989 score Bo Jackson with the bat on the shoulders.
Oh, it's a cool card.
I bought it in an SGC 10, and here's why. Way back when we got started, somebody dropped off a set of cards, and in there was a sleeved Bo Jackson score that I sent to SGC, and we dimed it. And I sold it, and all of a sudden I was looking around, and I was like, I want that card back in that same SGC holder. So at least my mind, I can tell me that's the same ones. Of the cards that I've bought this week, I bought a Score Bo Jackson SGC 10 to go with I've got the poster on my wall with all of his Beckett magazines above it. So that's the kind of stuff that I like. Just kind of weird.
Guys,
anyway,
I've been thinking about this since last week. We got this great listener. I don't know who you are. I don't remember the name. But I really, really, really appreciated this guy that sent in the impersonations. Yeah. After last week, we found out that we had some hidden talent here with Ham and Kern. And then this guy goes on it on his own and sends us impersonations, which I really, really did appreciate. It was hilarious. Philip, it was hilarious. I want to go ahead and announce this. Okay. And I haven't talked to Kern about this. I haven't talked to Ham about this. I want to do a giveaway. Okay. And I'm going to give away one of my cards. I don't know. I'm going to say it'll be a minimum of $1,000 that I'm going to give away. Okay. But I want over the next couple weeks, and we can do a little bit on this online or whatever, the best 90-second impersonation of our show. And Matt Ham, Eric Mandelkern, and myself, the best 90-second clip that we get will receive this card. Okay. So we're going to start taking the entries. You send it in. You send in your best impersonation.
Call the voicemail number and in our bio and leave your best impersonation.
What's the number, Ham? What's that number again?
8. I think so.
888 pod CEOs. You can also go to our Instagram and send us an audio message through Sports Card CEO. But I tell you, I enjoyed it so much. I think our listeners would enjoy to see the top. Maybe we'll even let y'all vote on it. We'll see how many we get in here, but the winner, I'm going to give away at a minimum $1,000 value in cards. Okay.
I like that a lot. And to confirm, it is 888 POD CEOS, 888 pod CEOs. You can leave a voicemail or on the Instagram page.
90 seconds.
Before we get into Gary here, I just want to take a second to complain about something, not to be dramatic here, but it's like annoying me. I won a card on Golden Auctions last weekend, and I paid immediately. The card still hasn't shipped. Like, how long does it take to ship a freaking card, Golden?
Exact same thing with Fanatics. Paid immediately, still hasn't shipped yet.
Really? Because I got my Fanatics one that I won after that auction on Sunday night that I won. I've got that card today. My card hasn't even been shipped yet from Golden. Buy a $25,000 card and the card hasn't shipped. Like, give me a break.
What card did you buy?
Mike Trout Hope Diamond.
Is it a dime? Is it Jim?
No, it's PSA 9. I don't know if there are any 10s.
Yeah, I was about to say that's like a pop 7 or something probably.
Yeah, it's out of 60. I've always wanted that card. There's been 2 for sale in the last 2 weeks, but before that, the last private sale was like 2022.
Nice.
Did y'all see the post? And this is a topic for another day too. I don't even know why I'm bringing it up. I don't want to forget about it. Remind me to bring it up again later about how people always are ragging on players for leaving to go to teams and becoming champions of some sort, whether it be
Yeah.
basketball or football. And they're talking about Shohei and
Yeah.
how Shohei, left, the Angels. Trout's been there almost 15 seasons. Shohei leaves in 2 seasons, goes to the Dodgers, wins 2 championships. No one's saying anything about Shohei leaving for championships. What does that enter into y'all at all?
Yeah, I mean, I thought about it, but baseball is different in my mind in basketball specifically, because basketball, you can have, as an individual player, you can have such a bigger impact on the game as a superstar than you can in baseball. Right? Like you can have a big impact, but like it's not as significant as basketball. And with baseball, I've always thought about its statistics at the end. It's individual statistics, and it's not, your legacy is not based on World Series titles. It's based on individual statistics, Hall of Fame, individual statistics. Whereas in basketball, it's how many championships has LeBron won compared to Jordan? How many championships does Kobe? Everything is championship related. Football, it's Dan Marino's one of the best quarterbacks, but he doesn't have a championship. It's not, I don't like with baseball, that's not nearly as relevant. Like in my mind, like maybe some people judge it that way, but that's not how baseball history is. Like you could name a great ball player in the past. Like, I don't know how many championships they won. It doesn't matter to me. It just doesn't matter to me. Like how many does Shohei have? I know he has 2 because they're very recent, but like it doesn't matter to me. Like it doesn't matter to me. I don't think championships matter. They're not as important in baseball. It's individual statistics. So I guess the point is that like that's why. That's why.
Never really thought of it that way. Ham, what about you?
Again, man, I think people find any reason to make drama. And it's like, now what LeBron did with basketball, like more power to him. He can do it. He's LeBron. Go to the Heat, go to the Cavs, go to the Lakers, do what you got to do. Like I was watching this thing about Jordan the other night, though. Jordan stayed at the Bulls. The starting lineup in 97 was Jordan, or 96, I think. Jordan, Pippen, B.J. Armstrong, Will Purdue, and the other tall guy.
Horace Grant?
No, Kukoc. Like, come on,
Tony
dude.
Kukoc.
That's the 5, right? That's the 5. And you look at the Lakers lineup over the last few years, you look at whatever lineup with like all these Hall of Famers on the stack. I mean, again, Jordan did it and just elevated the entire team around him. And then you have these guys basically buying championships. And I will say that when you look at the pitching staff and the 1 through 4 hitters for the Dodgers, it's pretty clear that they did something similar. You know what I mean? With Freddie, with Shohei, with Mookie, with, there's
just so much more to it than baseball with bullpen and,
I get it. And that's why I really wish you would have seen, them pull the upset, because they were just scrappy. You know what I mean? And it's just, I like the fact that there weren't a whole bunch of superstars on the other side. You know what I mean? Yeah. I kind of would like to see that. But to your point, Kern, I get it. Baseball is more of an individual, sport.
For whatever reason, it's individual statistics carry more weight over championships. Like George Brett, great ball player, right? How many World Series has he won? I have no idea, and it doesn't matter. Johnny Bench, best catcher of all time, right? How many World Series? What?
Tony Gwynn.
I have no idea how many World Series he won. How many World Series he has won. I have no idea. Doesn't matter. But, Bill Russell, exactly how many championships he has. Kobe, exactly the number. Jordan, exactly the number. It's not, he averaged 30 points per game. It's like, it doesn't matter unless they have a championship.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is.
It's interesting. Yeah, I think you're right. And now in football, it's gone the same way. When you look at Brady and Mahomes and all this other stuff.
Your ring count.
Manning.
Peyton
Manning in his day, I don't think there was anybody will ever touch what Peyton Manning did at his prime. But Tom Brady's going to be the GOAT because of all the Super Bowls.
The rings.
Exactly.
Always good conversations, boys. We could go on and on and on. But today we have dedicated a special episode to get to know Gary Wilson. Get to know Gary. Today is the Bubba Wilson episode of the Sports Card CEO. So, Kern, I know that you have been mulling over all of your questions to lace Gary with here. But before we go there, Bubba, give us a bit of a snapshot into the life and times of yourself.
I am 39 years old. Be 40 next May. I married my high school sweetheart. Been with my wife since we were 15 years old. So we've been together since we were 24. We got married at 22. After she graduated college, became a school teacher. And we have 4 kids together, 3 boys, 12, 10, 9. And then we have a daughter, Hadley, who is 4. We live right outside of Athens, Georgia. I use that as the University of Georgia home. I use that as kind of like the landmark because I don't say I'm from Atlanta because I'm not from Atlanta. And Athens is quite different than Atlanta. But started in college myself, and we'll get more into questions later. But started a business in college. Since sold that business, and we can go into any of those questions later.
What college?
I went to a local community college to start. I went to a place called North Georgia University or college or whatever it was at the time. And it was in a goat pasture over here, right outside of Athens, with the plans of going to the University of Georgia at some point. But I actually quit school my sophomore year when I'd started my business.
Like
So
all
I
the
never,
other greats.
Yep, I never made it through college. I always said I would go back and do it. Never did.
And so sold a business, and now you're happily hunting and
Yeah. Well, no, we can go more into those questions as y'all want to ask about my story of selling it and this and that. But yeah, I sold the business and was a part of that business even after I sold it for really as of till about April of this year. And then I backed pretty much all the way out to where now, I mean, we'll sell again probably by the end of the year, it looks like.
Are you able to tell us what kind of business?
Yeah, absolutely. I own a turf care company, so similar to that of like True Green. I don't know if y'all have True Green where y'all are at, but they're like the #1 turf care company in the country. They're $1 billion company, and so that's what we do. Turf care. It started off as in my mom and dad's basement in a water heater room. It was my first office. Literally was in the room with water heaters, and the first time I ever went out on a lawn, I had a full hazmat suit on. I mean, literally, the customer was looking at me like, what the hell is this guy doing? I had like the freaking like mask on, like nuclear mask, and like look like I'm on the scene of Breaking Bad making meth and on these people's yards, spraying their yards. Back in those times, like, I mean, I was scared of the chemicals. I didn't know what I was doing. I know what they were. And so I've come a long way since then. By the time I sold it, we had about 35,000 customers in Atlanta. And so had about 200 employees the time we sold it. Now that business has about 3,000 employees, and we're in, I think, like 17, 18 states.
Awesome.
So, Kern, Bubba's kind of set us up here. So go ahead and let's dive in, and I'll let you kick off, and then we'll just keep rock and roll.
All right. So you're 39 years old. When did you start collecting cards?
I was a kid. I mean, I was probably 5 or 6.
And then it was like a stop situation or what?
I mean, I collected hard, man, when I was younger. I was a huge baseball fan. I mean, I loved baseball. I mean, I played baseball from the time I was 3 years old. Dad signed me up for T-ball when I was 3 years old. So I played baseball my entire life. I was a baseball maniac. I was like little Matt in the way that I knew every stat. I watched every single Atlanta Braves game, TBS, at every game. I knew every stat. I knew every single thing about any player you could ask in Major League Baseball. And so then when it came to where I could go to the gas station or the grocery store and they're sitting there, my mom and dad I would pull on their shirt, please, 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 need a pack. And, got into it that way. Had the binders and just collected. And I just love looking at the stats, and just really looking at the card that way. And then I guess probably about middle school, probably 7th, 8th grade, right before high school, cards at that time had kind of lost their luster as well. Like I don't remember being at gas stations and grocery stores as much anymore. For reference, I mean, I graduated in 2004. So, late 90s, early 2000s. I just don't remember cards being kind of in the general light anymore like they were, or like they are now again. Like they weren't readily available. So that's kind of when it died away. I mean, people just didn't talk about them anymore. They were kind of a dead thing. And then I rekindled that, with my kids.
Okay. So it was when your kids came in? You started buying Bowman and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I started just kind of getting into it with my kids just for fun. At first, my kids were into it. I was into it. And then when I sold the business, I was like, I see this opportunity as this alternative investment. So I never did it coming back in as a collector at all. I've always come in as an alternative investment. And since then have found some cards that I collect. I think somebody asked that question the other day, actually. Like, we always hear about you investing. Like, what else do you do? Well, honestly, I've never been like, since I was a kid, I haven't had like, oh, I collect this guy or I collect that guy. But now I do collect Braves, and I have started collecting, which I think is pretty unique. I like the sets that there's like a golden Grail set of Hall of Famer plaques that have their autographs on it, their true autographs. And I've collected every single one of those. And those are just ones I'm put away in my office. So it's every single Hall of Famer that's alive still today. They made the actual physical Cooperstown plaque of them, and they've seen it and they've signed it. I don't know if y'all seen that card, but I collected every single one of those. So I thought that was really cool.
Cool.
So Bubba, I've spent enough time around you to know that like you have a super competitive personality. Like you're super competitive, super driven. And I can see where like that's what made your business successful. Just that kind of grit, grind, kind of whatever. When did that start to emerge for you, and how has it matured as you've gotten older?
I would say it emerged when I was a kid. My mom and dad are incredibly hardworking people. I woke up with a pot to piss in, really. We never had money. We never had much, but they always taught us work ethic. My parents worked really, really hard, and they worked for everything they had. And I saw that. I saw my mom and dad lose everything as a kid, and I saw them rebuild everything. So I saw that work ethic through them. That was ingrained into us. And so I would say I took that into sports. Never a great student. I honestly just took it into sports. And then when sports were over for me was probably the darkest days of my life. Kind of in those early, 19, 20 days. Like, I always thought I wanted to be a pro athlete, right? And then here I was, like, not even pursuing that collegiately. I could have gone and chased it in football, and I didn't, because my wife and I, where we were at, I would have gone to some small school, probably in Mississippi or Illinois, and I just didn't want to do that at the time. And but I had this thing missing inside of me as a 19-year-old, like, where sports are gone. Like, what do I do now? Right? Like, what do I do now? And that was the way I felt. And then when all of a sudden college, I was like doing the same thing I did in high school again. I was like, man, I hate this. And then here came business, this thing that I had to relearn. I didn't know anything about, right? I got to learn about it. I got to study it. I got to take and put all my efforts and my energy and my juices into it. And there's this thing that you could just see progress, and you could see it growing. And I think that's where the passion came from. I mean, just taking that from, it was the next vehicle for me. Sports was over, and so business became that vehicle for me that I wanted to be the best I could be at it.
What position did you play in baseball?
I was a first base, third base pitcher. I was always a really good pitcher. Honestly, if you'd asked me when I was 10, 11, 12 years old, I would have told you I was going to pros. Because I was really, I'm not even just that weirdo that's on a podcast telling you how good I was, but as a younger kid, I was really, really, really good pitcher. I've got so many balls and no hitters and perfect games, and I didn't throw hard. I was just a Greg Maddux type. I had control. I could throw the ball wherever I wanted to throw. I knew how to pitch at a young age, and I was playing in a state tournament about 10 or 11 years old, and they were making us throw waterlogged softballs back in those days. Throw harder. And I was throwing them as hard as I could. It felt something kind of pop. And back in those days, Tommy John wasn't even a thing. But every time from that point on, the rest of my life, I could only throw about an inning at a time before my arm would just swell up and I couldn't even throw. And so it got to the point where hitting, throwing, anything just was painful. So anyway, that was kind of the end of my my career.
And that is the difference between Bubba Wilson and Shohei Ohtani.
Exactly. That was it.
Kern, back to you.
I want to know, your current cards is an alternative asset for you. So how much would you say you have in inventory right now?
Well, it's funny you ask. I was just doing that, honestly, in my time when I have been home the last couple of weeks, which has not been a lot. But I've started to kind of work on that and compiling exactly where I am after last year, because I've sold a lot in the last 18 months, a lot. I would say, though, I probably have somewhere around 4 million in inventory, which is dramatically reduced. At one point, I had about 10 million when I first got in, and it was 10 million of the wrong stuff. And so, I say that in fairness, it wasn't all the wrong stuff. Aaron Judge bailed me out. I bought a ton of Aaron Judge. I think, as they all know, anybody that doesn't know, I was probably the Lord. I don't think this is even challengeable. I was the largest Aaron Judge auto collector in the country. No, there's no way anybody had more, because I just, and luckily I did well with him. I was smart enough to kind of hold on to him even through like the downturn. Like, he was down 40%. My butt was puckered up like that. And I was able to kind of get out of him, and I still have some of him left, and I've continued to sell it. I sold some of it too early, just as I had all the Bobby Witt stuff. I sold it too early out of fear. I sold a lot of really good stuff out of fear. But on the flip side, I sold a lot of Julio Rodriguez on the top side. And now here I am buying him for a third of that. So I made some good choices. I made some really bad ones at the beginning. Hopefully I'm making a little better choices now.
So in your kind of card history, which, Bubba, we first met because you bought a card off of us off of eBay, and then connected at the First National back in 2023, like in person, got to see you there. And I remember you rolling up and just rolling out like this big giant Zion case. You just opened it up and it was like all of these NTs and all this kind of stuff. And you had basically just gone and cleaned out. I mean, I hope I'm not like in any way, you just cleaned out PWCC. Like, you were just buying PWCC of all the top end cards that you saw. Is that fair? I mean, I don't mean to be like, that's just the way I remember it.
I think there was a period of time I had a buddy of mine, David Barkley, who was still buddies this day. He kind of got me into football, and I'd bought NTs through him. He was kind of finding them for me, kind of a broker, really. Finding them, and then we had a little deal arranged. And honestly, I did really, really well with football. He actually kind of helped me kind of get into Bowman. Him and Lucas Hamill, and y'all that know Lucas, that's how I got into Bowman. Honestly, it was through Lucas and David. Met them at a card show, and David's like, "Dude, why are you buying all this shit over here? You need to be buying. If you're gonna buy stuff, you need to be buying the best. You need to be buying NT, not at a 49. You need to be buying 99. You need to be buying Bowman first. Baseball. If you like baseball, you need to be buying that, not these sticker autos." And that was like the first time I'd heard somebody say like Bowman first. And after that, it clicked, man. I've been Bowman ever since. So I owe that to Lucas Hamill and David Barkley, to be honest.
So in saying that, my setup was you had all of these crazy cars. And I just remember looking at the case. I'm like, dude, this is some crazy, crazy inventory. Is there a card that you can think of that you've sold that you just go, dang it, I probably shouldn't have sold that one?
Maybe 5,000 of those.
Choose one.
Yeah.
What's the one that hurts the most?
At this point, crazy enough to say it, I sold that Shohei Gold PS 1010 or whatever I sold. I sold it for 215,000. Car's probably worth 500,000-600,000 now. I don't know. I don't even know what it's worth. That one stung. I sold some big Bobby Witt, man. I had a lot of I sold a lot of stuff, man, that I shouldn't have sold. I sold
Didn't you dime a Jordan? Was it a Jordan LeBron dual auto? What was that one?
I was a Kobe Jordan, sold it too early. Made money on all these things we're talking about, but I just sold them early. But I think I'm okay with that now. Honestly, that's the kind of collector I've become. That's not my place in the space. My place is not the one to be the guy that gets it over here. I want to be the guy that gets it over here.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I've learned about myself. I used to think I was going to be the guy that was going to get it here and then take it all the way over here. Well, that's not who I am. And honestly, Ham, you've been helpful for me that even since this podcast began and becoming more that way. And I think Kern was probably the same way as me, if I'm not mistaken. You wanted a long, long game, and now have become a little more shortened in the game. So I think that's probably how I've changed the most.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, does your wife know how much money you spend on cards?
Yes. Not to the dollar. She doesn't really look at her finances at all, so she doesn't care. She just kind of trusts me with that because, she hasn't worked. And
does she think you're crazy though?
Since our kids she thought I was crazy as hell when I had super Santa sacks getting delivered to my door 3.5 years ago. Literally, they were backing up USPS trucks, and I had a sweatshop down here in my basement going. She's got pictures of me holding these like Santa sacks of cards. And frankly, I was freaking crazy, man, buying all that crap the way I was buying it. So yeah, but since then, I think she understands now that I enjoy it and that I've had some success. And so I think she's kind of like, hey, whatever, you know what's best.
When you wake up in the morning and
Mm-hmm.
you grab your phone, what's the first
Mm-hmm.
thing you do? What's the first app you open
The Bible.
on your phone?
Yeah. There's
Okay.
a verse of the day that pops up every single day.
Me too. I do the same thing. Yeah.
But
Kern.
generally speaking, I'll drink my coffee. If I'm starting my day right, that's what I. If I'm starting my day wrong, then somebody's texted me or something, and I'm right into a text conversation. My day's off. So if I'm starting it right, it's in peace. I'm at the Bible app, and then after I've done that, then I'm usually trying to lay out my day. Here's what I need to get done today. Here's what I don't. Right now, like where I'm at, like been at the farm and stuff, like my mind's clear, so I don't have to, like I'm not. I'm just kind of like
So what do you actually do at the farm? Do you plant corn?
we
Like,
plant
what do you
lots of
do there?
corn. I've got 2,000-acre farm outside of Athens, and we have cows there. Number one, so we have cattle.
Spit out your
Cattle,
drink.
cattle are actually known as cows, Eric, in Georgia.
Yes.
People eat them for beef sometimes, and they make milk. But no, we have 2 folks that actually run my cattle down there. I have 2 other guys that help on the farm. But I mean, it's a recreation track for me outside of that. I mean, I've got 3 or 4 houses down there that my family enjoy. We fish, we hunt, we ride 4-wheelers, I hike down there. I mean, I'm just outdoors. I mean, it's like my own. You go to the zoo to get outside. I go
Yeah.
to the woods.
Okay. Do you have a guilty pleasure, and what is it?
Guilty pleasure. What is it? Guilty pleasure. Probably cards, man. I mean, I would have to say. I mean, I'd have to say that's a pretty. I mean, I don't know if that's a guilty, but I mean, as much as I bought, I'd have to say it is. I mean, it comes to mind right away. I mean, I'd have to say that, and I buy lots of cars. I mean, I like vehicles. I buy new cars and ATVs every year generally. So I'd say that's a guilty pleasure as well.
So it was funny, Kern, earlier when you said, Bubba, when you wake up, what do you do? And it was like on a T. I thought he was going to say, I piss excellence.
I should.
Ricky Bobby. So Bubba, it's funny, man. Like, we came to visit you guys on our way
Yeah.
to the All-Star game, and you were like, hey man, stop by my farm. And initially I was kind of like, okay, like I live in Eastern North Carolina. There's lots of farms. Like, you're a good friend. Yes, I'll check your farm out. And I drove up, and it's like there's gates, and I was like, okay, now I know why he told me to come and check this out. This place is pretty incredible. Like, I mean, it is your chunk of the earth that
Yeah.
is and it's aptly named for you, Paradise Farms. And so what is it about land ownership that you like? Like, it's just so odd to me because I'm in the middle here. I live in southeastern North Carolina. Kern is in an apartment in Manhattan, and you've got 2,000 acres down here. It's fascinating that there's probably not a lot of people that can really connect with the idea of owning all of this acreage and stuff. And so what was it about land ownership that was just important for you when you sold your business?
Man, I don't know. It's always been that way for me ever since I was a kid. When I would go on any piece of land, I had this gravitational pull to just walking and seeing land. I love nature. I love land. And, I'll give you an example of this place that I bought down in where my farm is. There's actually 2 different graveyards on this property, one on one side, one on the other. And the other morning I was sitting there actually in the woods hunting, and I'm sitting there and I was like, I'm going to look up this. And I'd looked at the headstones before. I want to look up the lineage of these people. These people had lived on this land, their whole family, since the late 1700s. These people had been there, and there they are buried, life over 200 something years later. And it's like, that's life, like land, and like our life, like we're meant to be outside. We're meant to be on the land.
Do you have a favorite TV show? Do you watch TV at all?
I love TV, but I don't watch that much TV as I used to. My wife and I were in our mid-20s before we had kids. We would Netflix binge. I don't know if y'all remember the show Prison Break. Was huge into that show back in the day. I love all that kind of stuff, man. I love Stranger Things, about to come back out. Love Stranger Things. Trying to think of, all that type stuff. I love Breaking Bad, Dexter, all those type shows.
I just watched a Netflix series. I binge watched it just came out, Billionaire's Bunker.
Billionaire's
Give it a
Bunker.
watch. Well, you got to watch it with subtitles though. Don't watch it dubbed. It's good.
It's a subtitle show?
Yeah, it's a Spanish show.
Oh,
It's good
okay.
though.
Interesting.
All right, let's try it.
So, Bub, another question for you here. You know, like I said, I've known you for a few years now. You and your family travel, you know, a good bit. You've sold this business. I mean, you've kind of reached the pinnacle of what most people would say is light years beyond whatever they could hope for. They've, you know, worked really hard, built this business, you know, kind of sold it, and financial freedom is there, traveling, whatever it is that you kind of want to do at your disposal is could probably be done. What's left? Like, what do you see on the radar from here? Like when you start thinking about bucket lists and travel and all this kind of stuff, it's kind of like, you know, you can only eat so many steaks or take so many vacations. Like, what keeps you rocking and rolling now that you've kind of reached this pinnacle at 39 years old?
I get on my knees and pray that prayer every single day. Like, what's my purpose? Like, what do you want from me? Like, what's next? Like, that is the prayer. Like, you know, how do I make an impact? So I want to make an impact, whatever I can do. I've been given this blessing for a reason. So I want to make an impact, and I plan to in any way, whether that's giving, whether that's being involved. I mean, whatever I have to do in any capacity I can. And then I want to win. I still want to win. I mean, I mean, until the day I die, I want to win. I think if I'm doing cards, if y'all know me, this is the kind of person I am. I'm all in or I'm all out. Like I can't, that's the kind of guy I am. And I want to win. So I still want to win anything I'm going to do. If I'm going to, I built some houses recently over the last year. If I'm going to build houses, I want to be great at building houses. If I'm going to do be commercial real estate and I'm going to rent and lease buildings, I want to understand everything in commercial real estate. So that to me, I don't know from a business standpoint what's next. I really don't. I'm not in a hurry to find out. For the first time in my life, in over 20 years, I can actually sit here and enjoy the quiet for a second. And I want to do that because I feel like for the first time I can. I want to enjoy that my kids are going to be 4, 9, 10, and 12. And we get to go travel and do stuff while they're young because one day they won't be. So that's really what I want to do now. But I do want to make an impact. And I want to, in my heart, I want to help as many people as I can. And like I'm going to do that. Before I'm dead and gone, on my headstone, I want to be known as somebody that helped people.
Last meal, death row. What is it?
Man, we must be like brothers from another mother because I'm gonna give the same answer as you. My favorite meal I've ever had in my entire life was there was this restaurant when I was back in my college days that made chicken parm with tortellini, like a spinach cheddar, like spinach, like ricotta tortellini. And it was the freaking bomb with a nice salad on the side. I haven't had it in a long, long time, but it was perfectly battered.
Do you remember the name of the restaurant?
Done. I do.
Like, is it still open?
No, it hadn't been open in years. I don't remember the name, but it was so good, man. And so that's probably the route I would go. I mean, just something really hearty like that. I'm a hearty guy over a sweets guy,
What are you drinking? Alcohol.
Bourbon. I used to be a dude vodka guy back in anybody that knows that's Mountain Dew vodka back in my early 20 degenerate years. I was drinking that straight up at Georgia Florida games, and I was housing 20 beers, smashing beer bottles over my head. I was that guy. But in my older, more refined years, my pinky up, I do enjoy a nice bourbon. And I don't smoke and I don't drink very often. But if I am going to drink a bourbon. And if I'm going to smoke, I'm going to smoke a good cigar.
Dude, I picked up a couple nice bottles of bourbon here over the past couple of weeks. Just randomly had the opportunity, got a Weller Full Proof, and got a Rock Hill Farms. And I don't know, I like the holidays, especially over the holidays. I like to have a nice pour.
Bring some to the farm by the fire. It's a perfect time.
Yes, I know.
If you could buy one modern Bowman card right now, what would it be?
Well, it doesn't exist. Well, does this include Shohei? Are you considering that modern, or I have to go like prospect?
Prospect.
Connor Griffin, Superfractor all day long. If it came out, I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, to me, that's going to be $1 million card one day.
So, Bubba, have you ever had in all your time in the woods, you ever had any Bigfoot encounters?
I thought you were going in a different direction there.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know what
I was going to go that direction.
Yeah, you can ask me the other version of that question. No Bigfoot. I've heard people that have had those encounters. I believe in aliens, but I don't believe in Bigfoot.
Okay.
You do believe in aliens? So.
Yes, I do. Do you guys believe in aliens?
I personally don't believe that aliens are what we attribute them to be. I believe that they're spiritual in nature. But yes, I do believe in the concept we term aliens.
Karen, do you believe in them?
Yeah. I think there's extraterrestrial life out there. Yeah.
I would say other dimensional, but yes.
Whatever.
Whatever, Steve.
Whatever.
Whatever,
Tomato,
Steve.
tomato.
There's definitely
I don't think
some
they come
life
from
out
another
there.
planet. Is my point. They're not like from another planet. That's my.
Where are
I
they
was
from?
expecting you guys to dig a little deeper here, man.
Wait, where are
I'm
they
looking for
from?
that, like,
They're another
zinger.
dimension, spiritual in nature. Spiritual beings.
Spiritual?
They're spiritual beings that manifest physically. So more like angelic, demonic things.
So they're ghosts?
Like
No,
demons.
no, not ghosts. But more angel.
So they're demons?
Yeah.
So like The Exorcist, like that's real then in your mind.
Yes, in my.
You think that's real?
1,000%. Yes, demonic possession is 1,000% real, in my opinion.
The power of Christ compels you. The
Yeah.
power of
that's-
Christ.
that-
But you
that
really
is-
think that stuff's real?
Yeah, I do. Absolutely. I've seen
Wow.
it. I've
Really?
actually seen it. Yep.
Are you an exorcist?
I have been in people's houses and prayed for spirits that were present and keeping them awake at night, and I have definitely felt that.
Holy
Really?
shit. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I believe in aliens too.
Sorry, this is Bubba's episode.
My
Gary-
episode is taking
Gary,
a very. People are going to cancel.
have you
the
ever-
Sports Talk CEO after this episode.
Yeah. Have you ever had how many craps have you had to take in the woods?
Well, I'll give you
I
the
thought you said
best
crabs.
best crap story of all time, Karen. You really want it? We really want to go
I
there?
want
I'll
your
give it. We
best
can decide
crap
if we're gonna
story
get
of all
this.
time.
Best crap story of all time. We're sitting there. You got to go, and I'm probably 14 years old. You got to go, and in the woods, you got to go over a log, Kern. You can't just pop a squat there right in nowhere. You got to do it over a log, okay? And then you wipe with leaves, all right? If you're in the woods, which I haven't done that in a long time. I got a bathroom at my farm now, so I kind of graduated from that. But so here I am, found up a good log with my wipe. Things are looking good. Take off, throw my coveralls back on, walking through the woods, and the wind's blowing this way, and I keep getting this sniff like, gosh, what in the world? Just stepping something? Looking all around. Goodness gracious, a shark? What's going on here? I couldn't figure it out all afternoon. I got back to my house or wherever we were at, when the house back in those days, we were out back like a camper or something. Got there, took off my coveralls to change into shorts, and there it was in my hood.
In your hood?
I had been carrying it around all afternoon.
In your hooded sweatshirt?
In my hooded
How
sweatshirt.
did that happen?
Because you pull the coveralls off like this.
Kern would have been so excited because he'd have been like a monkey at the zoo. He'd have been like, yeah.
In the coveralls.
Oh my God.
In the coveralls. So
Oh
it wasn't
my God.
it wasn't a good experience.
Wow.
I
I
love
went there.
how the podcast has now devolved into our best crap stories, and it's fantastic.
Guys, come on,
This is
keep bringing them,
amazing.
boys. What else you got? We're asking crap stories. What else we got?
I don't know. Can you come exercise my kids?
That's a Matt Ham question.
It's needed. It's needed. It's needed. All right, Gary. So here we go. You had asked this. I have two questions for you. You had asked Kern this, and I'm going to ask it back to you. What is the best investment you've ever made?
Well, I gotta say my wife.
Don't
because
you pull that
No.
wife thing.
Kern
He
Kern
did that
it.
thing.
Yeah.
No, I don't think there's any doubt. The best investment that I had, 1,000% outside of Meta stock at $100, which was a phenomenal investment for me. I bought Meta stock at the dip during COVID at about $88, and I bought a lot of it under the direction of a very smart gentleman. And I think that stock today is at like $650, which is just at like $780. So that's been a very good investment. Outside of that and some other good stock purchases was just investing in myself in the business, investing everything. When I first started my business, my dad gave me phenomenal advice. For 2 or 3 years, I put everything back into it to survive. When our business was just that baby business that had no money, had nothing. I lived on ramen, and the business needed every single dollar to get going. And that sacrifice allowed us to be, I started that business, in the year 2005. So as y'all know, what 2007 and 8 was like.
Mm-hmm.
If we hadn't have been lean, we wouldn't be in business today. And so to me, investing back into my business at the beginning and not robbing it of everything allowed us to survive.
So secondary question here, biggest fear. So this is what you asked Kern. What's your greatest fear? And you kind of phrased it, hey, what keeps you up at night?
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Something happening to my kids. No doubt about it. There's not even a close, I'd take 55 bullets any day of the week for my kids and for my family. There's not even a number 2 that's even close. So is something happening to my kids?
Yeah. Have you ever met a Jew before me?
Yes. Yes,
You
I have.
have.
Yes. There are Jewish
Where?
people, and there's Jewish people in Georgia.
Really?
Yes, there are.
Interesting. Okay.
And you know what's funny is, what's funny about answer the second part of your question you never asked. To me, like I don't look at anybody and ever look at somebody and go, are they a Christian? Are they a Jew? Are they Muslim? I don't even think about it, to be honest. So the only time I would know somebody was a Jew or anything else is if we had that conversation just came up. But I've never, honestly, I never even thought about it that way. I don't get to anybody that like looks at people down on what they believe in. Like I've never been one of those people that believe in that.
It's funny, Kern, you kind of set up the conversation. Yes, Eric, but I've never met a Jew like you.
And that
Honestly,
is what?
Honestly, I didn't know you were. Honestly, I didn't even know you were Jewish till a couple weeks ago.
Get out of here.
Being serious.
Wow. Interesting. Okay.
It's
So
interesting.
whenever
Like
that whole thing came up, it's probably been a couple months ago, where you had that guy that was like hating on you about that. I really never knew that. But it didn't matter. You and I were buddies, and we were buddies no matter. Well, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter. We're friends.
I will say this.
I could be some farmer in Georgia, and you could be some Jew in New York, right? Like it doesn't matter.
I will say this, dude.
Right?
Like it's more of a thing up there where you are than it is down here when we are. Like seriously. Like it's not even conceptually thought about. Like, are you Jewish? Or you whatever. Like, and the South's so different because culturally, Christianity is like a cultural thing. It's not necessarily like even a practice of belief. It's just like what you do. Most of the South, it's just kind of they affiliate that way. So it's really interesting. Like that whole thing, like with what that guy said, I realize it's a reality for you, but I think that's probably more of a city thing than it is like that.
Probably because the volume of Jews here is significant.
In my experience, yeah.
Well, a matter of fact, my wife's sister married a Jewish guy from New York City.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
His last name was Cat. His last name was Cat. His last name was Katz.
Yeah, like the deli.
A lot of Katz's here. A lot of Katz's.
Got anything else?
I just want to know one vacation spot that you haven't been that you could go. Where is it?
One I've always wanted to go to, and my wife and I have always kind of circled as a spot we want to go to, Bora Bora. I've always wanted to go to Bora Bora. I've always wanted to be on one of those little huts, floating on the water with the lemon sharks. I want to swim with the lemon sharks. I've always wanted to do that. So that's probably the place. If I had to get a second choice, well, I'm sorry, I'm cheating, but I want to give second and third choice. I want to go to Australia at some point. I've always wanted to go to Australia, New Zealand, Australia. And the third one is Italy. I want to go to Italy so bad. And probably next summer I will go. We've been talking about doing it for a while, and I want to go. I want to see the Vatican. I want to go there really bad.
Kern, that was your primo place, right? Isn't that the place you?
Yeah. I love it.
So Bubba, again, big believer in kind of like input, right? Like what you put in to your mind, to your life, whatever. And I know you've mentioned the Bible and certainly reading that and your faith, and I'm not precluding that, but going back to your days of building your business and that kind of thing, like who did you lean on? Like what did you look to? What kind of content did you feed yourself in the business space to kind of keep that momentum, keep that ball rolling down the court? Like what was that for you?
I think the question that you're asking me, and tell me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to answer the question wrong. Are you asking me how did I continue to develop and grow in the business? Is that essentially what you're asking me?
Yeah, it's like who did you listen to? Like what kind of what did you eat?
Yeah, I think I've told you this before, why I've always felt like little Matt and you reminded me of you're my dad and little Matt was me in a way. And it's weird to say that, but that's the way I've always felt. So my dad was always very shrewd in how he handled everything. Very on top of everything. He tested me, man. And everything I did, anything we ever did in anything in business, like he absolutely he made it so hard. And so I feel like that test along the way made me just want to be better than him, to be honest. Like it pushed me to say, you know what? Like I didn't know finance. And I didn't go to school for finance, but I know finance better than most people in finance because I wanted to learn it so that I would do it better than him and he would stop talking about it. And I didn't know anything about accounting, but I went and learned accounting because I needed to know it if I was going to run a business, and I needed to know it better than him. I didn't know anything about turf care. So what did I have to do? I had to learn about turf care. I didn't know how to manage people. So I had to there was no one thing because I had to learn different layers. I didn't know sales, but I would go do it And a lot of things too, I think, is taking what other people are doing well and taking and making your own, sometimes the best flavor. Taking what I saw other companies and going, wow, they're excelling at doing that. I'm going to take that idea and make it this new, better idea. Or flip flop, take something that a company's doing really poorly and let it be a passion project for your company to do it better. And for us, it was like no one's taking care of their customers. No one cares about their customers. No one answers their phone when they call. No one cared about putting the best product on the field. And for me, that became our war chant. Nobody else is going to do it good. Nobody else is going to do it right. We're going to do it better every single time. And that was the war chant for us.
Well, I've enjoyed getting to know you, Bubba.
Thank you, Eric. Likewise.
It's funny, like, we're all the odd couple, but like y'all are the real odd couple to me. Like, it's like, I love it. The fact that y'all, like, you know what I mean, even connected over this podcast and stuff. So before we wrap up today, Bubba, what do you remember about the podcast genesis for you? And like the thoughts of like why you wanted to get this started, just so we all three have our input on how it began and why it's important to us.
Well, it started by, like Eric said, like in how we became friends. Really, you haven't met two people, and Eric and I, that probably trusted somebody without really even meeting someone face to face more than we trusted each other pretty quickly. Honestly, with money, with conversation, with business things, like we had this weird connection in a sense that like we just trusted each other from the beginning, and it's still that way. And so for me, I think it started with that. And then Ham, I felt that same connection to you. Just like, this is a trustworthy guy. This is a great individual. This is a kind of guy you want to be around, sharp person. And so to me, it started with this conversation with Eric and I were talking all the time. You and I had become good friends. And it was like, look, we're already having these conversations. We're all trying to do the same thing in the card space. What if we just came together and talked about it? And then we're three people that have done business in three different ways. Your story is totally different than mine, Matt. Eric, your story is totally different. We're all different. We're on different stages of our life. We all have children, though. We have that in common. We all are very motivated people. We have that in common. We're in cards. That's in common. And we all, the thing that anybody that watches this show, hate us, love us, despise us, whatever, we are three people that are driven people that all want to get better at what we're doing. And that's what we try to take into cards. And the other thing about it is, and I don't want to toot our horn in this way because it sounds kind of arrogant, but I think we're genuinely good people. We're genuine people. When you see us on the show, I've never had a conversation before with you, Matt, or Eric that I felt was fake, because I hate fake people. I do. I hate them. I hate fake people. I don't have time for them. And so to answer your question,
to be
Matt,
honest,
that's
there's a lot of fake.
Show.
Yeah, and there's a lot of fake people in this space. And I think that's why we all gravitated towards each other, because there's a lot of fake people in this hobby space.
It's easy to see right through, too. But,
well, that's the genesis of the show. I mean, we are guys that have come in this space, whether we want to admit it or not. We could be collectors more so than the other, but it was an investment of some point. We're going to put money to work and want to make money, and we want to do it better. So we're all running our own businesses in this space. Whether we want to call them businesses or not, they're businesses, okay? And we are all in unison doing that, being real, and we're motivated to see them do better.
Yeah. Good thoughts. Well, boys, as always, good time chatting with you guys. Bubba, I appreciate you opening up and sharing a little bit more. And I know we're only scratching the surface here too. There's always so much more, but I appreciate you guys making time. Folks that are listening, like we said, Kern, you said it up front. The intent here is for us to have fun doing something to kind of connect the dots. And, if you like it, great, wonderful. Appreciate you listening. If not, you know what I mean?
The show's not changing, but these first 3 episodes are going to be about just that.
Yeah.
And then
it's just background. It's just context. You know what I mean? It's like you could pick up, The Office in the middle of season 4 and love it, but to appreciate the character of Michael Scott, you need to go back to season 1 and understand who he is. You know what I mean? That's part of the whole premise here. So, Bubba, any final closing thoughts on the Bubba Wilson episode?
No, man, I love that we're doing this. I mean, it just peels that onion back with Eric last week, myself this week, with you next week. I mean, and then from there, like you said, Kurt, we're going to get into meat and potatoes. There's so much time to get into meat and potatoes, and we're going to get into, I want to get into the meat and potatoes more this year. And I'm proclaiming this on the air because I think it's important. I want to get in more of the numbers. I want to show people the numbers. I think people want to see the numbers. They want to be able to see like, wow, it is up 4.2%. Oh, it is. I mean, trends and numbers, that's interesting to most people. And so in season 2, if it was anything that I think we talked about this, like, what do we want to do better? One thing I want to do better and try to bring to the show is I want to try to bring more numbers this upcoming year. I tried to bring it a little bit in season 1, but in season 2, I'm a numbers guy. Whenever I see numbers that are intriguing, I'm going to try to bring them to you guys.
Fair enough. Well, gentlemen, thank you. Thank you to our listeners. Appreciate you guys for tuning into another episode of Sports Card CEO. We'll be back next week with old Hambone on the hot seat. Looking forward to it.
All right, fellas.